Okay, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be doing a quick comparison, I guess, review, an overall review of all of these Sonos speakers. So we've got one of the lower end ones, the biggest one, and portable one in between, which gives us a nice range of different types of speakers, different sizes, different prices, and I can talk you through what I think about these. So obviously, so we've got the Sonos One, the Sonos Five, and the Sonos Move. The Sonos One and Five have to be mains powered at all times, hence the cable situation going on here. Whereas the Sonos Move, hence the name, is the only Sonos speaker I'm aware of that has Bluetooth, and it's got battery in it, so it can be taken anywhere. Hence why this one isn't plugged in, and it can be sat on this base here. Obviously charges through these little connectors. So kind of wireless charging, which is quite nice. Nice feature to have. And then it can sit on the base pretty much all the time and you'll never need to charge it. You can take it out and it's portable, which is awesome. These two, I guess it really depends what room you're trying to fill with sound. I can't think of many purposes for this one unless it's like an office type or like a big building where they've got one in each corridor and they're just playing low level background, like elevator music type thing. Then I guess these are brilliant because there are some of these in offices I've been in. But for a home, especially considering they're £200, I would, to be honest, steer clear. I guess they're a good size, but there isn't a whole lot of bass in these. They've also got, which is a bit annoying, the charging lead at the bottom sits quite nicely, but getting it out of there is, borderline impossible. You feel like you're going to break the cable. It takes ages to get it out. So not so much the most convenient thing to be using day to day. To be honest, I don't see much point, and I would recommend for £200, you steer a bit clear and go for, honestly, like a JBL Flip 6 is half the price, under half the price, and would be a better thing for the house than this would. And I reckon it sounds about the same. So do what you will with that info. This is obviously the Sonos 5. This is definitely something I could see if you had a bit of money and you wanted a nice sound system in all the big rooms in your house. You had one of these. That would be brilliant because this has, again, it's not brilliant bass because it doesn't have any proper capacitors or anything like that, but it's definitely nice. It's definitely premium sound, very clear sound, very crisp sound, and these are the type of things that I can see you could integrate with the app and have one in each room, and that makes a lot of sense. That's where Sonos comes into its own with its app and changing the room that's playing, or you're choosing all of them. You can even choose a different song for each room. You can sync them, sync the volumes. That's where the Sonos system comes into its own, which is hence why the products are so expensive, because you get all of that app and the system with it, which when it works is a brilliant system. So these I can understand having like one of these in this room, one of these in the other room. I can understand that because they're good speakers. I will do a sound test a little bit later on. I think there are definitely better speakers on the market for the price, but not ones that let you use the Sonos system. So if that's what you're after, then yes, this is definitely the best thing to buy. If you're after one speaker or two speakers, but don't want to worry about syncing them, and you want a bit more bass, this is £500. I've made a video on this one before, but it's the JBL Boombox 110, which is, I picked up for £280, which is bordering on half the price. Is much more portable, has a lovely light show, much bassier, actually has a battery as well, so it doesn't have to be plugged in at all times, and it's half the price. So if you're looking for even a home speaker, I would still choose that. But if you're wanting to link them and everything, then obviously this is the go-to option. The Sonos Move is a bit of a tricky one because it does sound, it's obviously in between sound of those two. Much more bassy than the One, but not as loud and crisp as the Five. But I just think, again, for the price, I mean, this thing's £400 for anyone who knows the Bluetooth speaker market. That's a relatively high price, really, isn't it? I mean, you could get a JBL Boombox 2 for that price, and you would be better off with that, especially seeing as it depends where you're taking it, but it's lovely materials, all very premium, very solid. But at the end of the day, it is just plastic. If you drop this even once, this is going to get dented, cracked. You're going to have scuffs all over here, scratches. I don't know how durable these things are. I know the JBL boomboxes have proved themselves time and time again to be waterproof, drop-proof, anything-proof. You can run a car over them and they'll still work. And they've got a proper carrying handle with them as well. This doesn't have any type of handle. So, as good as this is, again, for the price, I would avoid it, to be honest. And I think that's the theme with all of these Sonos speakers, is that they are incredibly expensive. And unless you want them because you want the Sonos ecosystem and you want it to work all around your mansion, then I would avoid all of these. Hence why I don't think many of you will have ever seen any of these in a park being played, because they're just too expensive for what they are. And you'd be too worried about damaging it. It doesn't feel very solid. If I dropped that on these tiles, that would probably be it gone. Whereas if I dropped a boombox on the floor, I reckon it would be alright. It's covered in like rubber bits, which obviously make it feel cheaper, but they've done it for a reason. And it gives you that peace of mind, and it means you can kind of just walk into a park, throw it on the floor, and it will play outside for hours. Whereas I'm not sure you'd have that same experience with this. So it really does depend where you're taking it. If you're taking it outside to a party or something and you're going to put it on a table where it's safe, then fair enough. But I still think there are better options. I really do. But I am going to do a sound test of the three of these now. And I think I'll do it against the party box as well, just so you get an idea of what the competition is for, in almost all cases, cheaper. Because bear in mind, you can easily pick those up for 300. This one's 400, this one's 500, that one's 200. So bear that in mind when we do the sound tests, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I've swapped to what I'm fully aware is a much lower quality filming device, but I don't have anything else on me at the moment, and I'm just going to try and show you a little bit through the Sonos app and do a sound test. The mic on this, is actually probably better than my normal phone anyway, so while the obviously image quality is going to be a bit, a bit average, the audio quality should actually be better maybe. So this is the Sonos app, which you get free reign to with the purchase of any Sonos speaker. You've got, you can link your services, so like Spotify, and any other services that you may have, and then you can link your system, so you can add products and they can all be synced at one time, and you can choose what room they're in. I've just got them named as the speakers, but you could name them as bedroom, and then you can set a song to play in all the bedrooms. If you had 3 bedrooms and all a speaker in, you could then play a certain song in the bedrooms, which is really the full advantage of this system here. So this is your kind of playing screen here. You can see all the speakers that are currently active, and if you click on this right here, I can literally pick and choose which ones are playing from, which is obviously very nice. We're going to play from the little one first, and I'm going to do obviously the normal song I do, and I'm just going to do a little sound test for you. I'm going to play them all, I think, about 70% volume, because that gives you a good level of bass, but also a good level of clarity. So bear in mind, they can go a little bit louder, but that will distort it a little bit, and obviously can go quieter, and maybe even better quality a little bit. So I think the 70% volume mark for all of them would be a nice way to do it. So I'm going to start with the Sonos One. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. One. Obviously very good, as Sonos are, and as you would expect for the price. Very good clarity, very good, well, very good everything really, apart from the bass. It just feels a little bit tinny, not as strong as I personally like it, but from a speaker that size, it's always going to be a bit hard, I suppose. So we're now going to swap this over to the, how do I do that? To the Move. Sorry, not sure what happened there. Interesting bug there, it wasn't playing properly at all. So I've swapped it over now.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling.
Okay, so a very similar experience to the One, relatively, just a bit louder, a little bit bassier. But yeah, nothing massively different, obviously, as you can tell. So let's see how easy it will be to just swap this to the Five.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Right, so I hope that comes out properly on camera, but if it doesn't, the bass on that is in another world compared to the other two, and it makes the audio experience so much nicer in my eyes. I guess it really depends what you listen for in music, but the bass for me it's just essential to have a good bass line, and that really does. Obviously, it's an expensive speaker sitting at £500, but that is a good speaker. The other two are nice speakers. That is a properly good speaker. I do apologise, there's no video stabilisation on this tablet, so, you know. But now I'm going to play them on all three, just for the fun of it. So you can tick all three, press done, and it will say the 5 plus 2, because I've got two others. And if I can actually manage to drag that bar properly. You can then also change the volumes, so you can do it all individually. So I think we'll have them all at about 70% volume.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. stars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames won't burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold you high while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me.
Okay, so obviously that is where, as you can see, the advantages of this Sonos system and the app all come into play, because that is seamless, takes 3 seconds, and perfect in sync. If you know what I mean, like a lot of you can sync. Technically, you can have two Bluetooth speakers over there, and you can sync them at the same time, but they never work that quickly, and it's never that seamless. So that is incredible. And obviously you can imagine if you had one in each corner of the room, that would sound brilliant, and you get a bit of bass from the bigger one, you get a bit of the other things you might be missing from the bigger one for the other two, and they'll all complement each other very nicely. But these 3 speakers altogether cost £1,100, and that one over there costs £300, and I would rather have that one over there any day of the week, even if they're the same price, to be honest. So in my opinion, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Go for maybe a less stuck-up company. You can tell that Sonos think they're the best by miles, and they don't, they struggle to even bring out a Bluetooth speaker of any sort, because they were determined to make everyone believe that Wi-Fi was better. It's not, and I think a company like JBL or Sony or anything like that just understands it a bit more, and the value for money is there, whereas maybe not so much here. But it's a personal opinion. If you've got if you've got a big system to set up around your house, then Sonos is the best by far, no questions asked. Any other reasons, for any other purposes, go for another brand. If you've got any questions, pop them down in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you, and I hope you enjoyed.